Hey friends, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. You know, who says you can't have a little bit of fun even if it is an electric car? And you know, I think that's exactly what Kia had in mind by making their electric offering out of their cheeky Soul. And you know something, I think that's good because the electric car market isn't exactly full of fun cars. But fun and beauty, it has to be more than skin deep. The car has to drive well, it has to have good range, and it's got a pencil. So we're going to find out if it does that in addition to having some soul.
The Kia Soul Electric has a number of telltale visual cues that make it stand out from the everyday Soul. First of all, it's got unique 16-inch white wheels, LED lighting, and specific badges that tell the world you drive an eco-friendly car. There's a couple of two-tone color combinations which include black with a red top and our Caribbean blue with a white top. If those are a bit much for you, you can get it in more subdued single shades of titanium gray and clear white. A unique grille design features an opening door for the charging ports instead of the standard air inlet grille. You simply press a button inside and it opens to reveal both a standard and DC fast charge port. The interior is also unique from the garden variety Soul, using a good dose of environmentally friendly materials. These start with glossy white accent trims on the center stack and console, instrument panel, and door panels colored with BTX-free paint. Kia also used bio-based organic interior plastics derived from cellulose and sugarcane in several places around the cabin, such as the door panels, headliners, seat trims, pillar trims, and the carpet. These materials span some 19 different interior parts which barely look and feel any different from everyday plastics. As ours was a Soul Plus, the seating was leather and featured heating and ventilation for the front seats and heating for those in the rear. They were just as comfortable as we found them in the Soul before, but are manually adjustable here. Rear seat passengers do get a few inches less legroom than the standard Soul, as the large lithium-ion battery pack is mounted below the floor, but you'd hardly notice it as there's still plenty of space back here. Furthermore, unlike some electric cars in which the battery is mounted high into the rear cargo space, you can fold the rear seats down and enjoy a nearly uninterrupted rear cargo floor just as you can with a standard gasoline-powered Soul. The instrument cluster in the Soul Electric is unique as expected, giving you a range reading, a power schematic, and eco-operation metrics in addition to your speed. There is no RPM, temperatures, or pressures here. The center stack features the brand's top-line UVO touchscreen navigation system with a very good sound. Menu and touchscreen operations are top of the class as in most Kia models, easy to use on the go and quick to learn.
When it comes to charging the Kia Soul Electric, there's actually 3 different ways you can do it. The first, that's the cord that comes in the trunk. You can plug it into any wall outlet, 120 volts. That's a pretty slow way to charge though, and really should only be done as a backup in case you don't have any other options. That takes about 24 hours to fully charge the battery if it's fully depleted. It's an overnight solution. The other way, and the most common way, is a level 2 charger, and that's what I'm at right here. I'm at a public charger with the Blink network. It's also the same type of charger that most people are going to get in their homes. It's a level 2 charger, 240 volts. That'll charge the Kia Soul up from a fully depleted battery in about 5 hours. Now the Soul actually also has level 3 charging capability. That's a 480 volt charger, a fast charger that can actually charge this up to 80% in as little as 30 minutes. That's pretty fast.
Its 27 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery is rated by the EPA to offer the Soul Electric a 93-mile range. It's also given a 105 mpge rating combined by the EPA, which factors a 120 mpg city and 92 mpg highway rating.
Range is something that's always on the mind when you have an electric car, and so this one's rated at 93, one of the highest in its class. But my experience with it this week has been that it actually exceeds that range quite handily, especially when you do things to save that power, like use the eco mode that comes here, as well as make sure that you're really doing a lot of regenerative braking, in addition to not using the air conditioner or the heater, not cranking up stereo too much. If you go all that way, you can get well over 100 miles on a charge, and that's pretty good for any electric car this side of a Tesla.
Whether you look at the EPA or our real-world performance, the Soul Electric is top of the class this year for compact electric cars, so advantage Kia here.
One thing the Kia Soul Electric has is a very strong eco mode, and what that is a button down here on the console, and when you press it, it immediately makes the car feel like it just gained about 500 pounds. But what's happening is it's softening the response on the accelerator so that I don't use the power quite as prodigiously. But more important, it actually leverages the regenerative braking quite a bit stronger so that when you lift off the accelerator and coast, it actually feels like you're dragging the brakes a little bit. And what that does is it really increases the amount of recharging you get on that battery. So the two things, softening the throttle response, leveraging the regenerative braking, it can actually extend your range quite a bit. Now, if you don't like that, you can turn it off and it immediately feels like the car just lost weight. It starts speeding up just a little bit based on your throttle position. And of course, when you let off the accelerator, it coasts like any other car. So you can still have your power and eat it too.
Motivating it is a 109 horsepower AC synchronous permanent magnet electric motor which has 210 pound-feet of torque. But when you look under the hood here, what you're actually seeing with the bright orange high voltage wires connected is the power control unit. The motor itself is mounted down low underneath and connected to the front wheels through a single-speed gear unit that simply has forward and reverse. Like the standard Kia models, it comes with a 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty which also covers the battery.
One major difference when you first get behind the wheel of an electric car that you're going to notice is this. I'm accelerating. Power is so smooth and quiet, you'd hardly know anything's going on other than the feeling of motion that you're getting. And that takes some getting used to, but it's something I very well could get used to. There's no shifting, there's no revving of the engine, and it's just this nice wall of power that just pushes into your back. I like it.
Kia says it can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 11.2 seconds and has a computer-governed top speed of 90 miles an hour. While these aren't stellar numbers, the motor's torque and response give it plenty of spark around town and even passing on the freeway. When it comes to the chassis, the Kia Soul Electric is identical to the standard gasoline model with the McPherson struts up front with adjustable effort power steering. At the rear is a torsion beam axle.
Out around town, the ride is actually very supple, very similar to a gasoline-powered Soul. It's got a pretty tight chassis. The steering has a reasonable amount of feel, and you can adjust that steering just like you can in a gas-powered Soul. But the big takeaway is this feels and drives like a regular Soul. It doesn't have an immediate and apparent drawback when it comes to handling like some electric cars do.
To safety, the battery is mounted low underneath the rear floor, just as a gas tank would, so it really brings no additional structural risks. The IIHS has given the gasoline Soul good ratings on all of its tests, including the new small overlap crash. While the electric model hasn't yet been tested, results are likely to be very similar.
Summing it up for the 2015 Kia Soul Electric, I have to admit I'm a little bit smitten with it. I really did like it a lot, so much so it goes on our I'd buy it list for 2015. Now, that makes it the first car to go on our list this year and the very first electric car to ever go on our list. And I mean that, I really would buy this car. Here's why. First of all, when you look at the price here and you factor in the tax rebates that you can get with this, it prices out net price about the same as a fully loaded gasoline-powered Kia Soul. So it pencils. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's got a very good range for its class. The only way to get a higher electric range in this car is to spend out 2 or 3 times the amount of money, get a Tesla Model S. Whole different class of car though. So it really does meet a lot of the metrics that a person would want when they're looking at an electric car, or any car for that matter. And that gets us to the stars here. It performed 5 stars across the board. Every metric that I measure, I really found very little to complain about this car. It lives, it drives, and it breathes like a normal everyday car. It doesn't feel like a science experiment like many electric cars do. So it gets 5 stars for the week. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride. So the real question is, can it do a burnout? A little bit.